The bus screeched around another sharp curve, rain lashing the windows so hard it sounded like 1,000 tiny fists demanding entry. Salina Sanders gripped the cold metal pole until her knuckles whitened. The glowing digital sign above the windshield blinked. Next stop, Pine Hollow. But again the driver sped past without slowing. Her stop, for the third time. "Excuse me," she called, raising her voice over the growl of the engine and the storm outside. "You just passed Pine Hollow again. I need to get off." The driver, a thick-shouldered white man in a dark cap, didn't turn. His eyes flicked toward the rearview mirror, meeting hers for the briefest second. Something cold slid down her spine. He knew she was watching, and he wasn't going to stop. The bus smelled of wet coats and stale coffee. Only 4 passengers remained. 3 white men scattered in the middle rows and an older white woman near the front. They hadn't boarded together, but Salina had noticed the glances, quick, sharp, shared like secret handshakes. Every time she spoke up, their heads turned just slightly like predators testing the air. Another sign flashed past the rain-blurred window. "You are now leaving Pine Hollow County." Her stomach tightened. This was no accident. It had started like any other late shift. Salina, 28, a graduate student juggling 2 jobs, had stayed late at the campus library. The storm rolled in faster than predicted, swallowing the town in sheets of rain and sudden darkness. She'd missed her usual bus and caught the last one of the night, relieved when it arrived with its interior lights glowing warm against the wet pavement. At first, she thought nothing of the way the driver barely nodded when she climbed aboard, or how the men inside stopped talking for a beat too long. She told herself she was tired, reading malice where there was only boredom. But when the bus skipped her stop the first time, her heart began to thud. "Maybe he just can't see the signs," she'd whispered to herself, though the neon lights outside were impossible to miss. By the second missed stop, fear bloomed like ice water in her veins. Now, as the storm battered the windows and the driver pushed the bus deeper into the unlit countryside, the fear sharpened into something darker. Salina scanned the rows. The men weren't talking. They were waiting. One of them, a broad man in a hunting jacket, rested his boots on the seat in front of him, watching her with a slow, deliberate smile. The older woman clutched a leather purse to her chest, eyes forward, expression unreadable. Her phone vibrated in her pocket, startling her. A text from her roommate. "You home yet? Roads are flooding." Home. The word was a lifeline. If she could just call for help, but when she tried, the signal bar flashed, "No service." The driver's voice suddenly boomed through the speaker. "Storm's bad up ahead," he said, eyes still fixed on the road. "Road's closed. We'll be taking a detour." Detour. The word felt like a blade. Salina's pulse raced. "This isn't the route," she said loudly, forcing authority into her tone. "You need to stop at the next station, now." The man in the hunting jacket chuckled, low and mean. "Relax, sweetheart. Driver knows what he's doing." Something inside her snapped. "Don't call me that," she shot back, her voice trembling with controlled fury. The other men exchanged looks, grins flickering in the dim light. The driver remained silent, his hands tight on the wheel. The bus veered onto a narrow side road lined with tall pines, their wet branches scraping the windows like claws. Darkness pressed in from all sides. The engine's growl and the relentless hiss of rain were the only sounds. Salina's mind raced. She could stay seated and hope for a miracle, or act. She thought of her grandmother's voice, always steady. "Don't freeze. Move smart." She slipped her phone into her lap and opened the camera, pretending to scroll as she quietly hit record. Even if there was no service, the footage would remain. Evidence. The bus jolted suddenly, slowing as an old gas station loomed ahead, a lone island of flickering light in the storm. The driver pulled in without a word. "Bathroom break," he announced flatly. The hunting jacket man stood, stretching like a cat. "Finally," he said, eyeing Salina as he moved toward the door. The others followed, leaving her alone. Salina's breath came fast. This was her chance. She darted toward the driver. "I need to get off. Now." He turned slowly, his face blank except for the faintest curl of a smile. "Storm's too dangerous. Best stay on the bus." Her heart hammered. "Open the door!" she demanded. For a long, terrible second, he didn't move. Then, ding! Her phone lit up with a sudden burst of service. A call came through. Unknown number. Instinct told her to answer. She pressed it to her ear. "Salina?" A deep, urgent voice crackled through the static. "This is Deputy Harris with Pine Hollow Sheriff's Department. Stay calm. We've been tracking this bus. We're right outside." Her breath caught. "What? Don't engage the driver. Officers are moving in now." Blue lights exploded against the rain-streaked windows. Sirens wailed sharp and beautiful. The driver flinched as police cars skidded to a stop around the station. Officers poured out, weapons drawn. "Step away from the door," one shouted. The driver raised his hands, his expression finally cracking into something like fear. Salina stumbled back as deputies swarmed the bus. Within moments, the driver was cuffed and led into the storm. The 3 men and the older woman were pulled from the station's restroom, each one silent, faces pale under the flashing lights. Deputy Harris climbed aboard, rain dripping from his brim. "You all right, ma'am?" Salina nodded shakily, clutching her phone like a lifeline. What was this?" "Been tracking this group for weeks," he said grimly. "They lure late-night passengers, especially women of color, to remote spots. You're lucky you kept your head." Lucky. The word felt both too small and too heavy. Hours later, Salina sat in the back of a patrol car as dawn crept over the drenched highway. Her clothes were damp, her body trembling from adrenaline and cold, but her spirit burned bright with defiance. She thought of the driver's chilling smile, the men's silent coordination, the woman's blank stare. Predators hiding behind ordinary faces. The deputy returned her phone, now full of recorded video that would help convict them. "You saved yourself," he said softly. "Not everyone does." As the car pulled away, Salina looked out at the endless stretch of wet asphalt. Fear still lingered, but beneath it pulsed something stronger. Resolve. They had tried to trap her. Instead, she had exposed them. The bus disappeared in the rearview mirror, swallowed by the storm. Salina turned toward the rising sun, ready to reclaim the night they had tried to steal. Please like and subscribe if this story kept you on the edge of your seat. Your support helps more voices like Salina's be heard.